Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and why is it every single time... okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do this. Why is it every single time I try and clean the top of my my monitors, there's even more dust than ever before? I don't quite understand how any of this has, happened. Sorry about that. It was bugging the hell out of me at that point. And listen, while we're on that subject, having a clean, organized environment is the way forward. It is the wave of the future. And as much as you could see the marking from where my mirror used to be, the reason why it's over there right now is just so that, again, the lighting reflects, it creates this horrible distortion, and it's just not very good. Mind you, with that being said, I'm wondering if I should just move my mirror elsewhere. This bears no relation to the rest of the video, I should point out, but it's just... maybe I could do with filling up that whole mirror, or that whole side of my room somewhat. So, let's tangent over. So, we move on to discussing Daniel Larson's health. Well, his more hygienic sense, if there is one to discuss. So, let's go. Daniel is very visibly unhygienic. Understatement, but go on. With oily and dead skin all over his face. Yeah, exactly. Especially if you can notice, on the bridge of his nose, it is dead skin just pokes in so many places, and it's just... I don't even know if he's ever used soap ever on his face or on his body, stuff like that, because it is... nobody should be able to I mean, look, I'll tell you what. I'll do you guys one better. So, I don't really want to come off as a snob or say that I'm the superior or anything like that, but there are, and this is just down to looking after yourself and actually spending any money you get on actually toiletries and necessities, not only to keep yourself healthy on the inside but also visibly on the outside. So I'm not saying I look superior or anything like that, but side by side with Daniel Larson, we might even do a comparison at some point, but yeah, it's no contest, unfortunately. I wish there was a better way of putting it. As a result of his hatred for showers and overall lack of care, Daniel's health has been severely impacted by his hygiene. Such examples include Daniel's trench foot, dental issues, and scabies. Some things that I have absolutely had no issues with whatsoever, because, as I mentioned before, this is what happens when you don't look after yourself. This is what happens when you put your other unnecessary needs before anything that actually is life-threatening, like your own health. So, as you guys will see. So, a possible explanation for Daniel's hatred of showers is because of how they feel. The most common symptom of autism is sensory issues, which makes certain textures or sensations feel uncomfortable or sometimes painful for autistic individuals. But most make an effort to clean themselves. I mean, the only alternative is to stink and develop things like lumbago and leprosy, but that's besides the point. However, he will tolerate his skin feeling sticky as a result of the dirt, sweat, and oil he refuses to rinse off, as well as a smell if he really hasn't for a while. This goes against the explanation of being hypersensitive, simply due to the fact that the sensations caused by his hygiene, or lack thereof, must be worse if he was that hypersensitive. That brings a very good point into it, is that the only alternative for people who don't like showering is to stink up the joint and develop scabies and trench foot and all the rest of it. So, I know maybe Daniel doesn't like it, but this is what he's chosen because he's neglected the other one. While out with Brink and Brink's friends, Daniel was asked if he wanted to try and shower, to which Daniel replied, "I'm good." Brink and his friends told him that it's so good that he could get his hair cut, implying that his hair is so well worn that they don't dare bring him into a barbershop. Daniel gets visibly uncomfortable during the questioning. Now let's actually do this about his interrogation about showering. So this isn't going to take too long, but here we go.
Do you want to find a place to take a shower or what?
I'm good.
Alright. here in a few days you're gonna take a shower for us, right?
Oh yeah, I will.
Yeah, so we can get you a haircut.
Or we can cut it. I'll just bring clippers in like one length, and your whole head's getting that whole length.
Yeah, just a buzz. But a shower in a few days then?
Where do you know? Do you know where to shower?
Yeah, I got you could say immediately that there was no way that was going to happen. He looked legitimately like very, very uncomfortable, but I don't know if it was just more uncomfortable about the fact that he might get shaved bald or something like that as opposed to showering, but yeah. Another reason is simply pure laziness, or not being taught the importance of hygiene growing up, as Daniel doesn't see much of a problem with not cleaning himself for extended periods of times. He fails to see the problems with poor hygiene. I mean, I could go into detail about how, forget Grace for 1 second, any person whatsoever, no, not even anyone of, like, love, on a love interest basic, just normal people would not even want to have to do much with that. Not even police officers would take any pleasure in having to reprehend, well, mind you, with that being said, considering where Daniel is now, he might not want to go into the showers for slightly different reasons. Homeless. Another thing that has a detrimental effect against his hygiene is his homelessness. Absolutely. Anything to look after yourself can be hard to find / get for someone living in the streets, obviously. But thanks to how Daniel views the importance of hygiene as an afterthought, he doesn't do his hygiene much of a service, not even doing the bare minimum, not buying / doing anything that could help his hygiene. Consequences. To the surprise of nobody, having a terrible hygiene can lead to serious health-related issues. For Daniel, his teeth are noticeably extremely poor condition. On top of that, his hygiene can be blamed for causing his scabies, among many other things. Like I said before, leprosy might not even be the thing we can discount at this point if there was other things wrong with Daniel. First shower. It says a lot when this has to be documented as though this literally is the very first time he had a shower. After not having showered since living with Jonas, Daniel was finally convinced to do so by Brink on July 7th, 2022. Along with the shower, Brink also helped Daniel purchase some new clothes. On May 23rd, 2023, Daniel was asked on his YouTube community tab when he last bathed, which he revealed he hasn't showered since 2022. So, at least a whole year up until that point, or 10 months, but that's ridiculous to say the least. You know what? Even for someone in Daniel's situation, why exactly? I know that again, maybe I've missed out on something here when we're talking about Daniel being homeless, but does he actually enjoy living on the streets? Because that might be the only way to explain why on Earth he just doesn't seem to make much of a concerted effort to get off the streets. Am I crazy, or am I missing out on something? Because, or maybe literally down to a whole range of issues. It's a bit much to get into here. Shower stream. On November 17th, Daniel hosted a 55-minute long live stream on his YouTube account where he pretended to take a shower for some reason, most likely for pity or donations. However, it is blatantly obvious that he instead placed his phone camera down near a tap, running it at full blast. From around the 42nd minute mark, Daniel can be heard talking to a man who he alleged was Bob. In the minutes after talking to Bob, he can be heard reading the messages on his chat, many of which were insulting to Daniel. I don't even think it's even worth checking out the video. I'm pretty sure it speaks for itself. So, that's mostly that. And it's a good thing there aren't like many videos out there about like Daniel's health and his hygiene, I suppose. But the thing to take away from all this is that, once again, if you don't want to live like, if you don't want to be called that word, then don't be that word. And unfortunately for Daniel, his lifestyle, his lack of actual care, or anything that could be closely associated with actual self-worth, seems to be more in terms of how his delusions are fed as opposed to anything else, which we will be discussing next time. So, make sure to wash your hands, ladies and gentlemen. And make sure to take care. By the way, there was a pandemic going on when Daniel was living on the streets. How the hell he didn't get COVID, or that's he must be a tougher man than he must be as tough as a brick shithouse sometimes. But there we go. Okay, hope you guys have learned something, and I cannot wait to see all of you guys again next time. Take care.